So, on to our second lived experience panel of the day. So, up here we're joined by this youthful lot, including Lorna. So from left to right, we've got Lorna, Emily, Tess and Terry. You might recognise the people up here. Tess has been doing some fantastic work for years, raising awareness of the disease through her own social media work and through ourselves. And Terry often appears on some of her videos, whether he wants to or not, he's in them. And Emily there in the middle, Emily writes a column for our magazine, Teen Talk, which some of you might have read over the years. I've not seen Emily since she was 8 years old. So last time I saw her, she was sitting on her mum's knee whilst I was interviewing Lorna. And I have to be honest, I was really tempted to dig out the old video and play it on the big screen.
So cute.
I thought that might be the reaction. I remember being a teenager. How old are you now, Emily?
I'm 14, almost 15.
Nearly 15. And Emily was only 3 when she was diagnosed. Lorna, you have another daughter, Rachel, and she's at university, isn't she? So these guys have come up from Newbury. Rachel's at university in Sheffield, which is a great choice because that's where we're based. Can't think of a better place. Tess and Terry have come up from Essex. Tess was 17, weren't you, Tess, when you were diagnosed? Now 34. When did you two get married?
2017.
Yeah. And Tess told Terry about the PH on the very first date. And maybe we'll talk a bit about that later, if that's okay. So can you tell us, I mean, we can probably hazard a guess where Emily's treated, but if you can tell us which hospital you're under and what treatments you're on.
I go to Great Ormond Street Hospital for Children in London.
What do you take?
And I take sildenafil 3 times a day. Don't know the amount. Amlodipine, and I'm on the trial for Lexipag for under 16s.
I'm under the Royal Brompton Hospital. I'm on tadalafil, macitentan, Opsmet, and the diuretics furosemide and spironolactone.
Thank you very much. I'm guessing you can't remember anything at all, Emily, about when you were diagnosed.
No.
I know your mum was explaining earlier how you thought that all children went to Great Ormond Street for treatment, didn't you? All your friends, all your classmates. Yeah. What was it like for you, Lorna, when Emily was diagnosed? Huge question, I know. 3 years old.
Yeah, so and it's a very long time ago, and things change a lot, in terms of how you feel about it over the years. So, yeah, Em was, I suppose she was about 3.5, and I'd taken her to the GP a couple of times in her life to say, she can't get up the stairs without stopping to breathe. And they went, well, she's very little. And she was really, really little. And then she got chest infection. And then they listened to her chest. And then they took me a bit more seriously. And so we ended up with this diagnosis. And to begin with, I'd found out, I knew there was a possibility it was PH. And so I went online, even though this was 11 years ago now. And the more I read about PH, the more I thought, it better be something else. And I was saying to my husband, it can't be. It can't be PH. So it was awful when they said, it's pulmonary hypertension. And we don't know why. We do know why now, but we didn't know why then. She'd been a very poorly baby, so we thought maybe it was to do with that, and there was something that could be fixed. But actually, it's genetic, a random mutation that Emily had. And she's done really super well. And so I found out about the PHA, incidentally, before she was officially diagnosed, before she'd had her right heart catheter for the first time. Yvette, the nurse then at GOSH, handed Jeremy and I a piece of paper all about the PHA, and I remember thinking, well, I don't want this because we don't know for sure she's got it yet. But then we did want it a few weeks later. That's it was so long ago. So I was very scared. Phoned my friends who were doctors, because I had 4 university friends who were doctors. 3 of them didn't have a clue, and one said, "Oh, it'll be all right. I've got someone on my caseload, you know." So even our medic friends didn't know. I felt really stupid that I didn't know what it was, but I know loads now. So
an expert.
Yeah, all these years later.
Tess, you were only 17, just done your A-levels. Tell us how life changed for you then.
I was diagnosed at 17. I was learning to drive. That stopped as well due to obviously being in hospital. I was in the middle of doing my A-levels and I really wanted to go to university. And I thought at the time my life had changed. I'm not going to go to university. Am I even going to get out of the hospital? Because, I felt pretty ill and pretty rubbish. It really brought me down, to be honest, and I'm quite a positive person. And, but I was determined that this wasn't going to break me, this wasn't going to stop me from what I wanted to do in life. And I fought hard to get out of hospital and to do my A-levels. I came out just before my A-level exams and got the A's somehow that I needed. And I went to Southampton University and I did a degree in music. And I just went to Southampton because I had the diagnosis of pulmonary hypertension. There was a lot of planning. I couldn't walk upstairs anymore. I couldn't be far from campus. So I had to do a lot of research to choose a university that not only did music as a really good, and it was known for music, but it could also support my needs. I rang up the professors, found out where my classes were they all on ground floor, did they have a lift? And it just went on and on and on. And luckily Southampton ticked all my boxes. And I kind of lived the uni life. I probably did too much drinking, which you shouldn't do with medication, and I shouldn't be saying this with Carl watching me.
It's all right, Ian's just told us that he's been drinking at lunchtime. So.
But I lived a really fun uni life, and I felt like a normal uni student, to be honest. And I graduated 3 years later, and I became a music teacher. I'm a musician. I play piano and cello. And then I decided to go back to uni and do a master's. Don't know why. But another 2 years of stress and education. But I went back and did a master's in music therapy. And like I said, music, well, Emily will know as well, being a musician, music is just everything, for me. It's helped me through some really, really difficult times. And as you all know, when it comes to music, you listen to it and the feelings of the music you're listening to will go into you. You feel how the music sounds. And I felt that music helps me through some really difficult times. I will play my piano for hours on end just to make myself feel better. And due to that, I became a music therapist. And I work with children with special educational needs and use music to help them through their lives.
You've really found the things that make you happy, haven't you, Terry?
Yes, definitely.
And Izzy as well.
Oh, and Izzy, our dog.
So Terry, when you met Tess, you were brand new to PH. I'm assuming you had no idea what it was when Tess told you that night. So tell us how things have sort of played out for you as Tessa's husband. What are the biggest things that you've learned about the condition over this time?
PH has been, it's a journey. I do agree the journey is probably the best way to explain it. There's no escaping it. It is a heart condition. It's there for life. Okay, that you just got to accept that. And as soon as you accept that, then you can move forward and actually then plan it. So with most things, they're difficult. They're just small, little, easy things to actually get past it. And what we do is we try and look at how a difficult thing of going on holiday, doing a day out, something that we need to even get to the hospital in London. We try and make it a smaller, little journeys to get through it. And that's been a way for us to manage PH for Tessa's condition. But hearing about the fact is, she's got a serious heart condition was obviously a bit of a shock, especially on our first date. So she goes, I've got PH. And I was like, what's that? And then she says I'm on the wall here for the BHF. What were you doing on a wall for the BHF in the very first day? And it was a bit of a shock. And
I was part of a campaign for heart conditions for the BHF when I met Terry, and the poster, I didn't realise, was up in the middle of town where we met up. And when we first met, I said, I've got a heart condition, that's me.
I wasn't in any posters at the time, so I just had to accept that. But I think understanding something is the best way to get through it, and actually understand yourself what it is. You can really get through it and actually be better to actually help the other person. And as a carer or a partner, it's all about helping them, which also helps yourself. So,
thank you. And Emily, life as a teenager with PH. So I don't know how Emily has time to sleep from everything I've heard about. Emily's written a lot in the magazine about some of the things that she enjoys doing. Tessa's just mentioned music. Can you tell us what do you do? So when you're not at school, what do you enjoy doing, and how does PH sort of affect that?
Well, I do quite a few things out of school. I've got my orchestra where I play violin, and I also go to Stagecoach, which is performing arts school, singing, acting, dancing. And actually, the teachers at Stagecoach are really good, especially my dance teachers. I love dance. It's probably the thing I love that's been most affected by it, considering how I can't get through a whole number without having to stop or whatever. But they're very good at adapting, and they don't force me to sit out if I don't want to, because I've had teachers in the past who get too nervous and are just like, no, you're not going to take part in this at all. But it's really good because they trust me enough that I can sit out when I need to, and they don't need to intervene. But yeah, I do a fair amount of sports. I do like to go out walking, and even just on holidays. I'm always eager to go up a hill or a mountain or something. But I think it does slow me down a lot. But it's something that I've learned to, having lived with it and not known what it's like without it, it's just something that I'm used to. And so it's not really that much of a stressful thing for me.
You found ways of getting around the challenges, haven't you, as a family? Yeah.
I think having PH as well, which just saying what Emily said, is that you learn your limits. I won't say that I stick to my limits, because I'm not the best person to say I do. But we all have our own limits, and we know when is the right time you should stop. And it just, yeah.
That's something that Tess and Emily have in common, not necessarily sticking to their limits. And actually, when you were talking about wearables earlier, you found it really useful, haven't you, having a...
Yeah.
We've got Fitbits because they were cheapish.
Yeah, I have.
And Em uses hers, and she'll actually, although she can feel a heart rate, it seems to give you a bit more confidence sometimes, doesn't it, to say, oh, actually, I'm just checking. But yeah, when Emily was a bit younger, we had a few battles over maybe not playing netball to the point of chest pain and things like that. But you've sorted it out, haven't you?
Yeah.
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 So.
I should have mentioned at the start, I'm going to make sure there's some time at the end for questions for these guys, because I didn't leave enough time in the morning, and I think it would have been helpful to give people the chance to ask anything. So while they're talking, if you want to have a think about anything you might want to ask, Ian is my designated timekeeper, so he's going to tell me 15 minutes before the end. Tess, something that you said, I think a couple of years ago, and we use it quite a lot because it resonated with so many people, is PH lives with me, not the other way round. Yeah. Can you just explain a little bit about what you mean about that?
PH, we've all got PH, and I just believe that it's a part of us, but it doesn't have to be who we are. We can live our life thinking PH is going to stop us doing this, it's going to stop us doing that, but no, it doesn't. If you don't want it to stop your life, you don't need it to. And I've always thought, when there's something that comes up, I look at, okay, I've got pulmonary hypertension, but there must be a way that I can still do something despite it. And I think that's what I've been throughout my life of living with pulmonary hypertension for, 17 years, is that there's always been obstacles that I've come across. But since being with Terry as well, together we come up with a plan, we come up with a way that we will make it work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But most of the time, we will find a way together. We'll sit down, we'll plan things out, and we'll find a way that we will get through this together. We'll go shopping this day, and we will find a way to do it. And it's just being positive that you can live life. It doesn't have to stop you. And, here I am, 35 this year, and being diagnosed at 17, I didn't even think I was going to make it to my 18th birthday. And, 18 is a big number when you're a child. So, yeah, I feel very grateful that I'm here and feeling good. I'm doing well. And, yeah, it's thanks to, obviously, myself being positive, but my wonderful Brompton team who have kept me going, kept me supportive. Whatever I've said, they may be like, oh my God, you're giving me more grey hairs, but we get through it together. My husband, my mum, my dad, if you've got a good support team around you, you can get through whatever life throws at you.
Thanks, Tess. Emily, you're going into your GCSE year, aren't you? Year 10 in September. Can you tell everyone a little bit about what you're thinking about the future in terms of work and what you're doing with Gosh in that respect?
It's not really something I've considered loads about. I know that there are quite a few things that probably wouldn't be the best idea, like anything in sports. And for me, because it's like not really just my PH that affects me, there are a few things that I've got to think, is this going to be sustainable for me? Like, will I be able to actually do this every day? So I look at things that are like, it's accessible, but it's also something I enjoy or similar to what I would want. So I used to want to be a doctor because I went to hospital all the time. But of course, thinking about the sleep and all of that, probably not a great idea in due of tiredness, because I do get quite tired. So I've begun considering, okay, what's another side of that I could do? Like looking at working in labs, hospital labs, and looking at basically anything. I am quite a big fan of STEM. That's what I enjoy at school, as well as the performing arts. So anything really in biology that's what I've been looking at, really.
Fantastic. And I imagine you're hugely supportive of that career path, Lorna.
Yeah. Yeah. But really, I just want Em to do something that she's going to enjoy and wants to do. And I actually think when you're 14, it's really hard to know.
Absolutely.
Along with all 14-year-olds.
Yeah. Terry, in this room, there's a lot of people that live with PH and a lot of people that love people that live with PH. What advice do you have to fellow spouses, partners, family members, based on what you've learned over the years with Tess?
Run. No, that's not the advice, sorry. A carer, I'd like to say, I still don't like the word carer. You are part of their journey. And I think early on with the presentation is a great example, Ian, to be honest. You are supporting them. The most difficult thing, and is the thing that everyone else has, is that the pain that they go through, you can't take away. They have got to live with the pain. You can help them as much as you can make them feel a bit better. They are going to be with the pain. All you can do is make life easier, make them happy, and make them see that there's stuff past the pain, past the bad and good. And you hold on to the good and then you keep going forward, because everyone has good days, everyone has bad days. You don't just have a normal day, even for normal people. And as a carer, it is the most difficult thing is when they're in pain and you can't do anything about it. So what you do is support them the best you can. And that's all you can do. And then when you get through that, you feel great, and then they feel great, and then you're there together, because it is a partnership. This is not just the carers, that is from family to anyone that you even just friends with. The support network is so important.
Thank you. Terry and Lorna, how important is it whether you identify as a carer, caregiver, loved one, whatever, how important is it to care for yourself as well as the person with PH?
Really important, because actually if you're not there yourself, if you're not okay yourself, you can't be there for someone else, whether that's in a practical sense, so probably the biggest thing with Emma, well, there's two big things I do for Em. One is literally getting her to hospital visits and going round with her and learning how much to say or not. And then we've had to figure that out over the years. And then the other big thing has been advocating at school, which is easier sometimes than others. But if I wasn't okay, then I couldn't do that. And so by being as good as you can, you know, as healthy as you can in yourself and as well mentally as you can in yourself, then it's easier to do what Terry was just saying, which is to be there for someone else.
It's easier to say it than do it, though.
Yeah.
I always think of like when you're on an aeroplane and, you know, they give you the induction. It's like, oh, the oxygen mask, you put it on yourself before you put it on your child. And the reason for that is that you will lose oxygen and you will lose focus and everything like that. If you're not in a great mindset, how are you going to give advice and help someone else out? So focusing on yourself is quite a high priority, and you just ignore them. But if you are good, it makes the whole process easier. So, yeah, focus on you. You can then focus on others.
And hopefully it's not just you. So
Yes, yeah.
I have my husband Jeremy and a whole other load of family and friends as well. Em's got a big sister. So it's not, you know, for me, fortunately, it doesn't all fall on me, does it, Em?
No. Even though we don't have PH, we kind of feel like we do because we're part of it.
And do you both, Tess and Emily, do you find it easy to be honest about how you're feeling with the people around you? Or is that sometimes a challenge?
I think a lot of the times it's quite hard to describe what it is because, of course, they don't know. Some things are a bit different, like they wouldn't... How do I... But I think it is quite easy to say, yeah, I need to stop. That is something that I've learnt to be able to do. My family are just happy, if we're going on walks, my family are happy to just stop for me if needs be. And so are a lot of my friends at school as well. If we're walking to class, and luckily all my classes are downstairs now, but of course there are quite a few stairs in my school, so they're quite happy to stop and wait for me when going upstairs or go in front and let the teacher know. But that all comes from you being able to alert them and let them know and to be able to communicate. They won't know exactly how you're feeling, but they'll understand that they need to help you.
Well, okay. No, I'm not very good. Well, the thing is, you know, being in a relationship and, yeah, your communication, we were talking about it earlier, weren't we? Communication is key. And if I don't let Terry know how I'm feeling, then he doesn't know. There are times where I will say I am feeling better than I actually am, because as you know, we have which the PHA UK did, the PH questionnaire. When you go to your consultations, you have this 25 questions and you have to tick from 1 to 5 how you're feeling. And the last one is, do you feel a burden? And that's quite a big question, you know, having pulmonary hypertension. And it varies from each session, each consultation I go to, but I feel that is a question that, yeah, sometimes I do feel like a burden, and you don't want to be. You're in a loving relationship. You don't want to be like, oh, actually, I can't make dinner tonight. You're going to have to do it. Or, you know, I'm not actually going to be able to go out with our friends tonight. We're going to have to cancel. And that's where I find quite difficult, is that I hate not showing up for people. I hate cancelling, and I hate it when I can't be there for people. And I want to be there for Terry just as much as he's there for me. So there are days where I might not feel 100%, and I won't say anything because I want to be there for him. So, yeah, it is.
She's stubborn, basically.
It can be quite difficult, but yeah, as I said, communication is key, and just making sure you're there for each other as much as the carer is there for the patient.
Yeah, thank you. I think you two are couple goals, aren't you? You two all aspire to be like you.
She's stubborn, as I said, yeah.
I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit now. I hope you don't mind. So people in this room, as we said before, are all different stages of their journey with PH. Some people newly diagnosed, some people have lived with it for years. Based on your own experiences, if you could give just one piece of advice to either someone with the condition or someone who cares for somebody with the condition, what would that be? Just one piece. And just whoever wants to go first, go.
I'd just say what I've already said, is that pulmonary hypertension is a part of us and it doesn't have to be who we are. You know, you can keep going towards your goals, even if it's just getting up the next day. You can do this, you can get through this. It can be difficult, but you know, we're in it together, we're here for each other, and you've got the best support around you, and you will live a life that you want to live if you want to.
Brilliant, thank you.
I think I would say just take each day at a time. I'm not necessarily good at doing this, but, you know, 11 years ago, with a new diagnosis, things look awful. And here we are 11 years later, and we've had 11 fabulous years, and we'll have many, 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 many more. So there is just no point. Jeremy's going to... He won't believe I'm saying this. There's no point in sitting and thinking, what if this, and this happened? You've just got to make things as good as you can for the now.
Yeah. And I bet you couldn't imagine, could you, Lorna, 11 years ago, listening to the talks we've had this morning about AI and the development of drugs like sotatercept.
Well, Selexipag didn't exist.
Exactly.
The gene mutation that Emily's got wasn't known about when she was diagnosed. It's like there've been so many changes.
And that's the progress in 11 years. So imagine at that pace in another 11 years, how much more different things are going to look. Emily, if you want to skip this one, feel free. But if you've got something, then...
Well, I think comparisons aren't... Like, try not to look at other people with or without PH, because talking to other people here, I've learned how different it is for some other people. Like, I'm not on oxygen. I don't know, like, I've never experienced much difficulty getting on a plane. And so looking at other people with the same condition and thinking, oh, well, how come it's better for them? It doesn't really do well. And same for people without the condition, looking at them and thinking, oh, well, they're able to walk at that pace, so I'll just match that. It can, yeah.
That's fantastic advice. It's hard to believe that a 14-year-old's just said that, actually.
It's insane.
I think that's great advice for us all.
Yeah.
Terry, do you want the last word? Or does Tess need to have the last word?
No, normally Tess gets the last word. So I would say more for newly diagnosed people, if you have a big goal in your life that before you got diagnosed, a lot of people give up on that goal. There's so many methods out there to try and do things that you really want to do in life. And I would say if you plan ahead and you plan your journey, you'll be able to do those goals. And don't feel like PH stops life. If anything, it just means that you just got to work a little bit harder and you're still able to achieve everything you really want to do, hopefully.
Thank you. Has anybody got any questions? Stick your hand up if you do. Of course Ian does. Anyone else before Ian pipes up? Oh, here we go. Go on, Sonia.
Wait, Sonia, wait for me.
Oh, sorry.
I'm here.
Thank you. I want to know how you two don't use oxygen and I have to.
I'm not sure that's a question that they can answer, to be honest.
No, but as you say, I did not let it stop me, although I was older when I had pulmonary hypertension. And it was kind of middling, but flying with oxygen, and I did a trip to New Zealand with oxygen, with CPAP, with all sorts of stuff. and I still have to fly with oxygen, but, you know, it's just something that you do and just forget about it. Yeah, and take your Sildenafil. So
Take your medications. Yeah, great advice. Thank you, Sonia. Anybody else before Ian chirps up? Over there, Sean? Oh, and there.
Oh, it's the wife who's got the PH, and she was also born with a congenital heart condition. One thing I'm saying is the gentleman on the end is dead right by his wife, whose wife now, by being straight with them right from the start. Because I've been going out it's been called about a month. I was in the pub one night and she started talking about having children. I'm thinking, I hope I'm moving a bit fast here for this. And then the following night, she told me that she got this congenital heart condition and that she couldn't have children, or advised not to have children at the time, because this is 1982. And she said, so if you want to take me back home and you go on your own way, if you want children, do it. And I said, no, one thing I can't, how can I say it? One thing I can't fault is her honesty. Because you can get people today, they tell them after they're married. And she gave me that choice and I just thought, I can't fault her. And now we've been together, been married 39 years now.
Oh, congratulations.
You know? I mean,
what's the secret then?
I mean, I married her thinking, well, quick insurance job here. But that was 39 years ago. So honesty is the key to life, I think. If you're honest with people, you stand a better chance in life.
Can I just say on that, it's nice to see people with PH respecting life a lot more in the little things in life, and coming into it when Tess has a PH, and obviously she knew from the very first day, got told, certain things in life you respect more and appreciate more when they're more difficult to do, and it makes a more fulfilling life. So even when things seem negative, actually they're quite positive because you're actually experiencing more than you could say in most couples. So there's always two ways to look at things.
Nikki, I think Nikki was next. Was yourself, wasn't it, Nikki? Yeah. Are you all right? Sean's just running around. He's had enough monsters today. He should be able to get a bit of a move on.
I've just realised I've not eaten either. I'm coming.
You've got a case of donuts.
I've got donuts.
That can fix that.
More for Emily, actually, and for Tess. Looking at your age as you are now with Great Ormond Street as your team, are you looking towards the next chapter when you transition to an adult centre? And do you have any kind of worries or concerns that maybe we need to be aware of? And how does that feel on the other end of that, where you might have already started that process?
Well, I've already had just like one talk with a PH nurse and about moving up, because we're not going to move, hopefully, not wanting to move to adult care until I've started college, because of explaining everything, and the PH team I have now know me quite well, so it's best for me to get into college, into it before I switch up to an adult hospital. And of course I'm a bit older in the year, so I would be around 17. But all I'm really worried about is just slightly more responsibility with the PH, because I handle myself on a daily basis, going to school, walking to school and everything. But really, a lot of the times, my mum is the person who knows the things. She knows a lot more about PH than I do. And thinking about maybe going to university, moving out, that's stuff that I'm gonna have to start being able to do, which is so scary, but yeah.
Your manager.
Thank you. Ian?
Is my mic on? Yeah. I think it's a question to all of you, but I think particularly I know I keep picking on you, Emily and Tess, but we talked about being honest with your next of your partner, whatever it would be. What about the people around? Do you feel there's a need, so like Emily at school, your friends, do you have to explain yourself or do you not? I mean, and the same with you, Tess, in other settings. Is there a need? I think sometimes I hear people say, you know, they're asking me to justify myself. How do you handle that? Because it's a really difficult thing for some.
I don't get it a lot with my friends because they pretty much know. It's honestly a lot more explaining to teachers and adults in the school that this is why this needs to happen. Like, it's taken forever for me to not have to go up 2 flights of stairs, lots of stairs just to get to maths, because all of the maths is right on the top floor, and that has always been a bit of a struggle for me to get there on time. And so it's a lot more explaining to adults, I find. It gets quite cute though, because in Stagecoach, if I have to sit out, I'll have the little stage ones coming up to me and just being like, "What's wrong with you?" And it's like, it's hard to know what to say, because yeah.
Well, something I'm quite passionate about, as Mary knows, is living with an invisible illness. And I've done radio appearances, I've written about it on my blog, I've done a lot of talking about it. And many of us here will have a blue badge. And I found that really difficult, having PH and being invisible. Sorry, not being,
That really is a special power.
PH being invisible. And as I said, I went to uni and I had my blue badge there, and you dress up when you're young and you want to go out, and I've had abuse, so much abuse hurled at me because I've got a blue badge, and they expect people who are in wheelchairs all the time, or someone who's older, and yeah, it is difficult to. And then you get to the point where you can't be bothered to explain that you've got a heart condition. So I just say, I need a double lung transplant. Go away, in the nicest of terms. But yeah, people around me, I'm very lucky. My friends understand. Obviously, my mum, I've got my mum, and she's very supportive. And it is difficult to explain that I have pulmonary hypertension because it's not well known still. But I think it's just something it's just part of our life that we have to try and get through, really. It's not easy living with pulmonary hypertension, and sometimes I do have oxygen, just to answer your question. I'm just not wearing it at the moment. I have it when I've had a long day, I have it at the end of the day sometimes. But there are times where I will wear my oxygen, not necessarily put it on, just so I don't get abuse held at me in a blue badge, when we're displaying my blue badge.
Thank you. I think we're going to have to leave it there. Again, we could chat all day, and everything you've said has been fantastic and really inspiring. Same for yourselves this morning as well. So, yeah, massive thank you and round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you.